Hey, it's Golden Buddha here, back with RPG horror stories for your listening entertainment. And today we have a story about a man who got fed up with a game. What pushed him over the edge was pretty funny, but we'll get to that point. Alright, let's go ahead and roll post. Guy plays as Jon Arbuckle in D&D. This story probably isn't as bad as what others have listed on here, but it stuck with me. So I found this girl on Tinder, and no, I wasn't looking to smash. She seemed cool and we got to talking, and to be honest, the only reason I did talk to her was because she had her interest linked in her bio, and one of them was D&D. She was nice, and my problem isn't necessarily with her, it's with the D&D group she invited me to join. All manner of homebrew was allowed here, broken or not, and I believe because the DM was her cousin she got preferential treatment. I chose a Phoenix Bloodline Sorcerer, homebrewed of course, but as a DM I knew it wasn't broken at all. My strongest passive ability was basically that I could create a 30-foot strip of ice and slide along it almost like a dash, and it would push people away if I made the strip of ice go through their square. It was also a bonus action. I knew this was the only thing about my class and my race that might have been broken, so I offered to only be able to do this once per long rest, and we could make it an action. Not only did he accept this, but he took away the pushback feature and occasionally wouldn't even let me do it. The DM almost immediately stripped this away from me after the first few sessions, stating that it was still beyond broken, before immediately letting the girl who'd invited me to swap characters. She had multiple active characters she could switch between in the session, into a fairy. This fairy was beyond leveled for the party and obviously OP, and constantly showed everyone up in battle to the point where the rest of the party was down for this fairy to go first every time into every dangerous situation. And she did. Constantly. She would scout out entire dungeons before we were even allowed to enter, find all the good loot, and keep it for herself. But this really wasn't the kicker, and it wasn't all that bad for me. I can overlook a lot. What was actually the campaign killer for me was a little bit of a mix. The DM was lazy with his descriptions and would send us pictures of where we were, usually very generic and uninspiring. Each character NPC he made was the same, generic and uninspiring. The players too rarely talked except this girl and I. Often they would leave AFK during game to do something else, so basically it was just me and the fairy. Later on I realized all the other PCs had incredibly leveled and powerful characters, while mine was forced to take a backseat in every encounter. I sorta RP'd my character as just slightly an airhead, so the DM effectively started making me do intelligence checks when I was alone to see if I wanted to do anything. At first, it was funny. But eventually I had my character go through town and I saw a girl getting raped in an alley. I immediately wanted to help her. It was finally a moment without the fairy to do everything for me. I could have my character shine, if just a little. He made me do an intelligence saving throw and I failed and was literally forced to leave the girl to get raped in an alley. Awesome. At this point I was considering leaving the D&D, but the next few sessions were even worse, but only when I realized it. A new player joins. And he's everything. Great roleplay, strong paladin, great voice for it. And just, well, an all-around really cool player. His character name sounded familiar, but it wasn't until a battle sequence when he had a token out for Roll20 that I realized what his character was. This guy had been playing Jon Arbuckle the whole time. As a paladin. Just took a character straight from Garfield and used it as his own in a D&D not remotely connected to that cartoon. And everyone, including the DM, knew about it. I jokingly asked/begged if his character image was just a placeholder before I got told frankly that no, he's literally Jon Arbuckle from Garfield. I stayed completely silent for the rest of the match, let Fairy Girl carry the weight of all roleplay and battle encounters, slipped silently away after, and then messaged them all that I couldn't play anymore and left. Never again, Jon Arbuckle. Never again. Edit. Jon Arbuckle is not the worst about this whole situation. Y'all think you were the first to comment that? It was just the last straw. I dealt with so much before that point that seeing that put me over the edge. It just added on to an already crap situation, enough to the point where I finally quit. Alright? Holy shit. I didn't think I'd have to explain that to y'all. So first things first, if you were on Tinder and you weren't looking to smash, what were you looking for, man? You were looking for a meaningful relationship on Tinder? Really? it's okay to just get on Tinder just to, just to have sex, that's fine, man. Like, no one here is judging you at all. We're all on the internet. We're all out here. So, I feel like the thing you picked, like the class, Phoenix Bloodline Sorcerer, that sounds really cool. Honestly, I might want to play as that in 5th edition in the future. It's really weird how you nerfed your own power, and then he didn't really go along with it. Maybe you should have asked him if there was any way that he thought it was overpowered instead of just nerfing it yourself. I'm not excusing what he did, because he shouldn't have like taken it away later. He shouldn't have like called backsies on it. I mean, because it's always annoying when somebody does that in anything. D&D being the least of those things. You're kind of salty. You were kind of salty about the fact that he was letting her play this crazy fairy character who could do everything, and that she had multiple characters in the wings. I mean, like, you should have asked, could you do that? Like, just make like 3 different characters and just been like, hey, can I play as this guy now and then that guy later? And then, maybe he would have let it slide. Maybe not. I don't know. And what level were you when you started this party? Because it seems like they were like way higher level than you. If you're talking about this fairy chick can like solo a whole dungeon before you guys even get there, that seems a little bit OP, honestly. I mean, what made you realize later on? Like, how later on did you realize that they were overpowered? Like, did you just ask somebody? Or did you just, like, infer that? Because what I would have done, I would have asked, like, when I would have started the campaign, I would have been like, hey, what level do we start at? And then he should have said, oh, well, we're at this level, but you're going to start at this level. The whole scene where, like, he didn't let you save the girl that was getting raped in the alley, that was messed up. Because, one, the character you were putting together was supposed to be like a pariah, like you were going to be the comedic relief if you couldn't be the hero. I understand that. I've played that type of character before. But for him to go out of his way and say, oh, there's somebody being raped in an alley. Oh, wish you could do something, but you're the dumb character. Sorry. Isn't that funny, guys? I would have left then. I'm going to be real. Because not only is he taking away your player agency and inserting rape into just a random spot, that's just... No, that's the main things. That's plenty reason to leave, honestly. And it didn't really seem like you wanted to play comic relief. So you just kind of figured that was the role that no one else was playing, so you took that role and tried to just make the best of it. And I definitely understand that. That being said, you should have left then. That's when you should have left. But the part with with this guy playing Jon Arbuckle, was it really the last straw? Was it really? Because it just sounds funny. Like, it's just, I can't, because I just picture Jon just sitting there, just freaking just bloop on the freaking, he has the most boring face. Here's my secret theory on this. My secret theory is that you wanted to bone the chick who invited you, despite you saying you didn't want to smash, and Mr. Jon Arbuckle was making the moves on the fairy chick, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was all of it, but that's just my theory, man. But I'm glad you're gone from the group, and I hope you find a way better group. Yeah, that was a really funny story, and I'm glad you told it. So what do you all think about this story? Do you think Jon Arbuckle is the worst paladin ever? Do you think Jon Arbuckle should be banned from D&D? And just weigh in the comments, and don't forget to send me other D&D stories for me to read. Like and subscribe, and this is Golden Buddha signing out.